sunsets glow.
In the name of God Almighty, the most gracious, the most merciful, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Om Shanti, I respect the divine in you. Namaste, I respect the divine in you. Om Shanti, I'm a peaceful soul. You're a peaceful soul. Everything is a peaceful soul. Let us maintain peace, balance, and equilibrium, friends and family. This is the latest in the elections update 2020, part 56. And I'm your host, Haji Rushin Khan. But before I go on further, I wish to ask and appeal to the people out there to be careful. This is your country. To watch the words of politicians who could tend to move your heart and are skillful in that and can cause you to be injured, to be inconvenienced, to be imprisoned, to have a record against your name in law while they are in the comfort zone in their home. Take it easy. Do not misbehave anywhere and accept the reality of life. If you look around, friends and family, ladies and gentlemen, in the 2015 elections, everything was against the PPPC. Everything. You see, the universe, the creator, and that universe includes your earth, your grass, your wind, your earth, and everything, including the Americans and the Europeans and the Caricom, and everybody was against the PPP, including the people, even though they lost by 1 seat majority. The fact remains, you can read the writing on the walls. You can read this writing on this wall, and you can understand with your intellect and wisdom that it is time to go. You can see on the same wall when it is time to come. There is a time for everything. The Holy Quran, and I'm going to challenge you, speaks to us in a short surah or chapter, Wal Asr. Some refer to it as Al Asr. By the token of time, man is at loss. Except those who do good and righteous deeds. My challenge to you, friends and families, Muslims and non-Muslims, go into YouTube or go into Google and check Wal Asr, W-A-L or A-L or A-S-R. And I'm going to ask my operator that in big letters to try and show it up here in the Arabic and the English language, so you'll be able to reflect on this amazing short verse. We have got to understand that time speaks to us. We have to understand when it's time to come and when it's time to go. 5 years ago, it was time for the PPP to go. It was necessary for them to go. They had to learn to listen and to respect. And it was a time for change. But then the change became problematic. And now it appears from the writings on the wall in the universe that it is time for the renewal. This is life. I'm going to read to you today a few excerpts from the newspapers, from the internet medias, and so on. This one is taken from INews, June 11, 2020. Coalition bankrupts Guyana. national accounts with billions in overdraft. And we have been seeing this quite a bit in the last few days in the various newspapers. The new government will soon find out that Guyana as a country as is used in Guyanese colloquial parlance, broke. Not only has the country's general reserves been depleted to zero, but the account is also now running an overdraft to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars. A quick commentary, ladies and gentlemen. You and I and our children will have to pay for this for a long, long time to come, as they are expiring our monies and spending it for, like example, the hospital in the East Coast, in which it is known there's huge corruption. There's huge fraud taking place. And all the paperwork, as soon as the recount was finished, got flooded out. Suddenly a sink got blocked on a Sunday, and a Sunday evening and a Sunday night, when the place is closed and the place is drenched with water and destruction of the documents. That is cause for a national inquiry into crime, my friends and families. I asked the government of Guyana, if a new government takes power, and even if the same one stays in, to bring in some specialists from Scotland Yard or the FBI to assist in this investigation with this flooding. Let's go continue with the newscast. This is in addition to an alarmingly depleted gold reserve. The state of affairs can be gleaned from the published balance statements of the nation's accounts held by the Bank of Guyana. The Bank of Guyana, as part of its statutory requirements, published in the official gazette a statement of assets and liabilities for the country. The state of play, as illustrated in May 23rd publication, or the official gazette, reveals that the general reserve is minus 290 billion 667 million 332,000. Minus, ladies and gentlemen, 290,667,332. We are in the red, not only with paper money, but with our gold reserves. This is cause for worry. This is cause to have to make people answer what they did. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, many things have happened in this country, even though the buck stops with the head of state. It is obvious that the poor gentleman, Mr. Granger, President Excellency Still Granger, many things he didn't know. Many things he didn't know what was happening in this country. As we saw recently with the employment using taxpayers' money of $40,000 per month for a PR consultant firm in the United States of America, and then we saw a whole set of shenanigans as I make a commentary there. Very painful and very depressing. Additionally, public deposits have also depleted to below zero, also recording a negative balance of minus 88 billion 629 million 401,855 dollars. Public deposits have also been depleted to below zero, ladies and gentlemen. Guyana is broke, my commentary. We are without any money or any wealth. We are like a despotic, backward nation, I'm ashamed to say, and yet still, supporters of such political institutions, when their leaders do these things, they become blind and bereft of reality and will even want to do violence at times to maintain them in power. This is very serious cause for worry, ladies and gentlemen. Guyana's contingency reserve account also reflects an alarmingly low amount of 2.3 billion. That's a contingency reserve. It's gone very low, 2.3 billion only, which is for national status and consensus is a very small amount of money. When APNU AFC took office in May 2015, the Bank of Guyana's statement of assets and liabilities reflected a completely different situation. According to the records, when the Coalition of a Partnership for National Unity Alliance for Change took office in 2015, please pay serious attention, ladies and gentlemen, regardless of your love for which political party or love for a personality in a political party, and those who are putting wool over people's eyes and talking all kinds of nonsensicalities because they want to go back to this and take us deeper into the red. When the Coalition, a Partnership for National Unity Alliance for Change took office in 2015, Guyana's gold reserves were stocked at 15 billion US dollars. It means when the PPC left government, they left 15 billion dollars. The latest figures show that the gold reserves have been depleted by the APNU AFC administration to less than 1 billion, now standing at 715 million. This reflects a difference of 14.3 billion spent by the sitting administration during its time in office, not accounting the additional sales for gold which would have cycled through the financial system over the course of the 5 years in office. In 2015, Guyana's General Reserve had in its coffers just about $6 billion, while the contingency reserve held $4 billion. Today, these savings have been eroded to below $0 to now reflect considerable overdrafts. According to the May 2020 figures, the general reserves now stand at minus 291 million, while the public deposits now account for an 89 billion red mark or overdraft against the country. Who are holding these? Well, I don't have the information here. I'm not an economist, but whoever is holding our debts can call your debt in and take over your assets. While the contingency reserve stood at 4.8 billion when the APNU AFC coalition took office, the current accounts reflect a balance of just about 2.3 billion. I repeat, while the contingency reserve stood at 4.8 billion when the APNU AFC coalition took office, the current accounts reflect a balance of just 2.3 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no political priority, no ethnic priority. I am a Guyanese, I'm a commentator. I love my country, but I can't shut this mouth up and allow this country to go down into perdition. I must speak the truth. And I do have many friends in the APNU AFC as I do in the PPC in respect. But the fact remains the fact. Reality is reality. And this is part 2 of this broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. And this is taken from News Source, but it's also in all the newspapers, all the Guyana newspapers today. Today's newspaper, the 11th of June, 2020. All the newspapers. During appearance, and this says, Caricom will not allow Guyana vote recount to be set aside. Prime Minister Gonsalves. During an appearance on a radio show in his homeland, the Prime Minister said he's friends with both President Opposition Leader of Guyana, and in his opinion, the vote recount process was properly done and should therefore be used to declare the results of the elections. Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, incoming chairman of Caricom, Ralph Gonsalves, has issued a warning that the regional group will not allow the recount of votes in Guyana to be set aside. During an appearance on a radio show in his homeland, the Prime Minister said he is friends with both the President and Opposition Leader of Guyana, and in his opinion, the vote recount process was properly done and therefore be used to declare the results of the elections. I saw in the internet, some of them were trying to show commentary, that Dr. Marajagde was with some heads of state and they were laughing. I hear the man is saying he's friends with both the President, still the President, His Excellency President David Arthur Granger, and Marajagde. It's normal. They socialize, they meet, they eat and they drink, and they discuss protocols and so forth, international and regional relationships and so on. And I go on with the reading. I am satisfied that Caricom will not stand by idly and watch the recount, which was properly done, for the results to be set aside. We expect the Caricom Observer Mission to deliver its report, and we expect that what is the recount will be honoured, and the Guyana elections will honour that recount and declare the winner in accordance with this recount, and anybody who then want to challenge anything after that can go to court. It's called Commentary and Elections Petition. Mr. Gonsalves also said that St. Vincent and the Grenadines stand firmly for democracy and representing the will of the people, and in that Caricom will not tolerate the stealing of any elections. Thank God. The commentary. We cannot allow that to happen, or else it's destruction. When you steal, is a crime, when you get cursed. And then the nation get cursed, and then the people get cursed. And then those people who do those things will further have a tendency to want to manipulate and steal more. I'm not talking of His Excellency the President, please, ladies and gentlemen. I respect the man very much. A high-level Caricom team which has been scrutinizing the vote recount process is expected to submit its report on the process to the Guyana Elections Commission. That report, along with the report from the Chief Elections Officer, will be studied by the Commission before any final declaration is made by the Chairman of the Elections Commission. Prime Minister Gonsalves was among 5 Caricom Prime Ministers to visit Guyana just after the elections to hold talks with President David Granger and the political parties that contested the elections following concerns of fraud after the first Region 4 tabulation. It was President David Granger who later initiated the vote recount and the involvement of a high-level Caricom team. His decision was supported by the opposition leader and the current chairperson of Caricom, Prime Minister Mia Motley, my dearest, beloved, divine friends and family. So a commentary. We have to be realistic and recognize President David Granger for realizing that we are entering dangerous waters. Can be destructive and bring Guyana to a state of shame and depredation and degradation. So this was a beautiful move by President David Arthur Granger in cohesion with opposition leader Dr. Marajagde and the other political parties. The ACNUN AFC have been highlighting a number of issues that were uncovered during the recount, which it believes would question the credibility of the elections. The coalition has said the recount uncovered electoral fraud. It believes only validated votes should be tabulated. Under the revised recount order, GCOM should complete the entire process within days. My dearest friends and family, so looking at the quote taken from one of the top judges of the Caribbean Court of Appeal, that it needs to be valid. So what is obvious after the recount, after the first count at Ashman's building, could not have gone on with the fraud that was being perpetuated, to my opinion, and the world, the Organization of American States, the Carter Center, the United States government, the United Kingdom, the European Union observers, the local observers, all the international observers and others as well, agreed that there was fraud being perpetuated by Mr. Mingo, who some want to treat as if he is Jesus Christ, just land and reborn and given birth again into the earth. Fact remains, there was fraudulent. Yours truly was there. I saw it. I speak the truth. I cannot shut my mouth, ladies and gentlemen, as a Guyanese, as one who believes in democracy, as one who has been given this power and this strength. I must speak my heart, and I must speak the truth. So friends and families, ladies and gentlemen, this is my message to you today, that Guyana must be saved. You and I must return to our works. We must return to our planting and our agriculture. We must work as one human family in love with God and our land. And don't be carried away by any political rhetoric that could put you or your family and our country in degradation and depredation and international disgrace, which we have entered in again, as we used to be in the 70s and the early 80s. My dearest friends and families, your brother, your friend, me, Haji Roshan Khan, saying Salam, Namaste, Om Shanti. May the peace and the mercies and the blessings of God be with each and every one of you, our nation, our president-elect. Some say, whatever happens, happens. That God bless our country and all the leaders in the land. I thank you and all the peoples. I thank you. May the peace, mercies, and the blessings of God be with the nation Guyana.